In the far edges of space, where stars were few and the darkness deep, there was a small human colony called Nova Prime. It was one of the newest outposts built by humans to explore and settle new worlds. Nova Prime was far from Earth and even farther from the main human fleets. The people there lived quietly, working hard to survive in the strange alien environment. One evening, the calm was broken. The colony's communication tower suddenly sent out a distress signal, a call for help. The message was short and clear: "We are under attack. Unknown enemy, help needed immediately." Then the signal stopped. In the vast galaxy, many races heard the distress call. Some ignored it, thinking humans were weak and not worth saving. Others were curious but afraid to get involved. The galaxy was filled with old rivalries and wars, and no one wanted to take risks for a small human colony. On Earth, the message reached the United Space Command. Captain Marcus Halley, a skilled and brave leader, was reviewing reports in his ship's command center. When the distress signal came through, it caught his full attention. "Captain, we have a distress signal from Nova Prime. It says the colony is under attack by an unknown force," the communications officer reported. Marcus frowned. "Unknown enemy? How can a colony on the edge of space be attacked without warning? Send a message back, but prepare the ship. We are going to investigate." The command on Earth told Marcus to stay away. They believed the colony might have been lost, and sending a ship was too dangerous, but Marcus felt differently. He respected human courage and thought no call for help should go unanswered. His ship, the Valiant, was one of the fastest and best equipped in the fleet. Marcus gathered his crew, scientists, engineers, and soldiers, and prepared for the journey. Everyone was nervous but ready. As the Valiant left the safety of the main fleet, the stars outside seemed colder and more distant. The journey to Nova Prime would take days through quiet, empty space. Meanwhile, at Nova Prime, the colony was silent. The attack had come suddenly, destroying most of the defenses. No one knew what the enemy was. The strange signs left behind confused the survivors. Some equipment was crushed, others were melted. There was no typical battle damage. The last recordings from the colony showed panic and fear. People tried to organize a defense, but everything happened too fast. When the Valiant arrived, the crew saw the ruins of Nova Prime from orbit. The colony was a shadow of what it once was. Buildings were broken, fires still burned in some places, but no one answered their calls. Marcus ordered a landing party to investigate. He led the team himself. The landing craft touched down gently on the cracked surface. Inside the ruins, silence echoed. There was no sign of life. The team moved carefully through broken corridors and empty rooms. The air smelled strange, like old smoke mixed with something unknown. Suddenly, one of the scientists called out, "Captain, look at this." They gathered around a strange symbol carved into a wall. It glowed faintly with blue light, pulsing slowly. None of the crew had seen anything like it before. Marcus frowned. "This is not normal. Could it be a warning?" The team found more symbols, scattered around the colony's center. They seemed to form a pattern, but no one could understand it. The communications officer tried to contact Earth again, but the signal was weak and scrambled. Whatever had attacked the colony was interfering with their devices. Suddenly, the ship's sensors detected a strong energy source deep below the colony in the underground tunnels. Marcus decided to send a small group down to check it out. They took special gear and moved into the tunnels. The deeper they went, the stronger the energy became. The walls were covered with more strange symbols, glowing softly in the dark. Then, in a large underground chamber, they found an ancient alien artifact, shaped like a tall pillar covered in carvings and lights. The artifact pulsed with power, and when Marcus approached, it seemed to react to his presence. "Is it a weapon?" one soldier asked nervously. Marcus looked at the artifact carefully. "I don't know, but it could explain what happened here." The team decided to bring the artifact back to the Valiant for study. As they moved it, the pulsing grew faster and the whole tunnel shook slightly. Back on the ship, the scientists began their research. They realized the artifact was not just old technology. It had power beyond anything humans had seen. The galaxy started to notice. The strange energy disrupted communication signals and news spread fast. Many alien races became worried, some fearful. What had started as a simple distress signal from a small human colony was about to become the galaxy's greatest mystery. Marcus looked out at the stars and knew that whatever lay ahead, humans would have to face it together. Captain Marcus Halley stood on the bridge of the Valiant, staring at the image of the ruined colony below. The silent buildings and cracked ground told a story of sudden destruction. His crew moved quietly, each focused on the task ahead. The landing party prepared to leave the ship. Marcus chose a small team, scientists, engineers, and a few soldiers. They knew this mission would be dangerous, but the unknown threat could not be ignored. As they stepped out onto the planet's surface, the air felt thin and cold. The sky was dark with strange clouds swirling far above. The landscape was rough, filled with debris from the destroyed colony. Nothing moved and no life signs showed on the scanners. Marcus led the team carefully toward the colony center. Broken walls and shattered glass lay everywhere. The silence was heavy, broken only by the crunch of boots on rubble. Suddenly, the team stopped. One of the engineers pointed to a strange shape ahead. It looked like a large crater, but something about it was unusual. Marcus crouched and examined the ground. The crater was deep, but the edges were sharp and clean, as if something very powerful had exploded from within. Nearby, fragments of metal were melted and twisted. The damage was unlike any weapon Marcus had seen before. Whatever hit this place used extreme energy, Marcus said, his voice low. This was not a normal attack. The scientists scanned the area and detected faint traces of radiation, but the type was unknown. It was not like any human or known alien technology. As they moved deeper into the colony, the strange symbols Marcus's team had seen before became more frequent. They were carved on walls, floors, and even on broken equipment. The blue light from the symbols pulsed softly, like a heartbeat. One of the scientists, Dr. Layla Chun, studied the symbols closely. "These are not random," she said. "They look like a form of language, but very old and alien." Marcus nodded. "Can you decode any of it?" Layla shook her head. "Not yet. But I believe they are connected to the energy source we found underground." The team found a map of the colony's tunnels. It showed secret passages and rooms not used by the colonists. Marcus decided to explore those next. The underground tunnels were dark and narrow. The walls were cold and damp, covered in the same strange symbols. Their flashlights reflected off the carvings, making the place feel alive in the darkness. Deeper inside, the team reached a large chamber. The air here felt charged, like static before a storm. In the center of the room stood the alien artifact, the tall pillar they had seen before. It was covered in complex patterns that shifted colors slowly, from blue to green and back. The surface seemed smooth but glowed faintly from within. Marcus stepped forward slowly, careful not to touch it. As he came close, the artifact's light brightened, casting shadows on the walls. "We should be careful," warned Sergeant Nolan. "This thing could be dangerous." Layla examined the base of the pillar and found a control panel with buttons and symbols. She pressed one gently. Suddenly, the artifact hummed loudly. The room shook slightly, and a beam of light shot upward through a hole in the ceiling. The team stepped back, surprised by the power of the device. Marcus called the Valiant. "We have found the source of the energy. It is an alien device, and it is active. We don't know what it does yet." The ship's scientists worked quickly to analyze the readings. The energy was unlike anything in human records. It seemed alive, almost aware. Meanwhile, alien news networks and nearby systems began reporting strange energy bursts from Nova Prime. Some sent observers to watch, while others debated what the humans might have found. Not all aliens trusted humans. Some thought the artifact might be a weapon hidden by humanity. Others feared it could be a trap. Back on the Valiant, tensions grew. The crew felt the weight of the unknown pressing on them. Marcus gathered his team. "We must understand this artifact before it causes more problems. Our goal is to protect humanity and keep peace with other races." As the days passed, the team made small progress. They learned the artifact was ancient, much older than any known alien civilization. Lila discovered it was part of a network, a guardian system designed to protect something very important. Suddenly, alarms sounded on the ship. The artifact was sending out a message in a language no one could understand. The energy around the ship increased, interfering with communications and sensors. Marcus realized they had awakened something powerful, and the galaxy was about to notice. The distress signal had brought them here, but what came next would terrify many across the stars. The strange signal from the artifact grew stronger each day. Captain Marcus Halle watched the readings carefully on the Valiant. The energy pulses were unlike anything his crew had seen before. It was as if the artifact was alive, waiting, watching. One quiet the artifact's glow changed suddenly. The pulsing light became faster and brighter. The whole underground chamber seemed to hum with power. "Captain, the artifact is activating." Dr. Layla Chin called from the lab. Marcus stood up, his face tense. "Everyone, stay alert. We don't know what this will do." Suddenly, a low vibration shook the ship. The Valiant systems flickered, and the communication channels were filled with static. On the bridge, Marcus ordered, "Seal all sections. No one goes near the artifact until we understand what's happening." The crew watched the artifact through the cameras. Slowly, a new shape began to form around the pillar, a shimmering figure made of light and energy. It was tall and humanoid, but clearly alien. Its form shifted like liquid light, constantly changing but always graceful. "This is incredible," whispered Lila. "The artifact has released a being." The alien figure moved slowly, as if studying the room and the humans who had awakened it. Marcus spoke over the ship's intercom. "We come in peace. We want to understand you." The energy being's glow softened, and it responded with a series of light patterns. The ship's computers tried to translate, but the language was unlike anything known. Meanwhile, outside the planet, sensors detected the energy spike. Across the galaxy, alien fleets noticed the unusual activity. Rumors spread. Quickly, humans had disturbed something ancient and powerful. Some alien leaders felt fear. They sent warships closer to observe. The galaxy was tense. Could humans control this force, or would it destroy them all? Back on the Valiant, Marcus and his team worked non-stop to communicate with the energy being. Layla developed a device that could send simple images and sounds. They hoped to show the being that humans were friends. As they sent messages, the being responded with flashes of light. Slowly, the crew began to understand a few symbols. The being showed images of stars, galaxies, and strange creatures. It seemed to be a guardian, a protector created long ago by an ancient race to guard the galaxy from great danger. Marcus felt a mixture of awe and worry. If this being is a guardian, why did it let the colony be destroyed? Layla replied, "Maybe it was sleeping, waiting for the right time to wake." Suddenly, the energy being reached out with a beam of light toward the Valiant's control panel. The ship's system surged with power. The energy felt warm and alive. Marcus smiled cautiously. "It's trying to help us, not harm." The alien figure seemed to trust the humans, but it also gave a warning. Images of a massive dark force moving through space, destroying everything in its path. The crew understood. A greater threat was coming. The artifact and its guardian had been waiting for this moment to protect the galaxy. Marcus knew that humans were now part of a larger story. Their small colony had sent a signal that led to this awakening. The galaxy might be terrified, but humanity had a chance to prove their strength. As the Valiant prepared for the coming challenge, Marcus looked at his crew and said, "We have to be ready, not just to survive, but to stand and fight together." News of the artifact's awakening and the energy being spread quickly across the galaxy. Alien worlds buzzed with worry and fear. The unknown power that humans had stirred awakened questions no one wanted to ignore. In the council hall of the Zalari Dominion, leaders from many species gathered. The room was vast, filled with statues of past rulers and holographic maps of the galaxy. Ambassador Vrek, a tall, blue-skinned Zalari with sharp eyes, addressed the assembly. "The humans have awakened a force beyond our understanding. This energy being, it could be a weapon of destruction or a guardian of hope. We cannot risk it falling into the wrong hands. Whispers filled the hall. Some believed the artifact was a threat to the entire galaxy. Others worried that humans might lose control, leading to chaos. Back on the Valiant, Captain Marcus Halley monitored the situation. His ship's sensors picked up movements of alien fleets approaching Nova Prime's system. The galaxy was preparing for war, fearing the unknown. Marcus called his senior officers to the bridge. We must act quickly. The galaxy fears what we don't understand. Our job is to show them humans are not a danger, but protectors. Lieutenant Mara, the ship's communications expert, nodded. I can send messages to the Council explaining what we've learned. But they might not listen. Dr. Layla Sheen added, we need to prove it with actions, not words. The energy being trusts us, but others do not. We have to prepare for possible conflict. The Valiant sent a message of peace to all nearby systems. Marcus's voice echoed through the comms, calm and firm. We come with respect and caution. The artifact is not a weapon of war. It is a guardian waiting to protect us all from a greater threat. Despite the message, many alien commanders remained skeptical. Some began deploying warships to block human access to the system. Others sent spies and scouts to observe the Valiant closely. On one remote planet, the warlord Cathar of the Kralax Empire prepared his fleet. His massive ships were armed with powerful weapons. If humans think they can control the galaxy with an ancient power, they will learn their place, he growled. Destroy the Valiant and end this madness. Back on the Valiant, tensions ran high. The crew trained harder than ever. Soldiers practiced combat drills and engineers worked on strengthening the ship's defenses. Marcus held a meeting with his officers. We don't want war, but we must be ready. The galaxy's fear could bring a fight we can't avoid. Suddenly, the artifact's energy pulsed strongly again. The glowing guardian appeared on the ship's main screen. It communicated again in its shifting light patterns. Lila worked quickly to translate. The guardian's message was clear. A darkness approaches. It consumes worlds. It will reach Nova Prime soon. Marcus's heart raced. This is the threat we feared. We need to warn the galaxy and prepare to fight together. The Valiant sent urgent messages to all nearby races calling for unity. It was a plea for peace and cooperation. Slowly, some alien leaders began to listen. They realized that fighting humans over the artifact's power would only weaken their chance to survive the coming darkness. Ambassador Vrek returned to the council hall and spoke again. We must put aside old grudges. This threat is greater than any one race. Humans have awakened a guardian meant to protect us all. It is time for unity. The council agreed to form an alliance, a coalition of different species prepared to face the coming enemy together. Meanwhile, Marcus and his crew prepared to lead this new alliance. They worked closely with alien scientists and commanders, sharing knowledge and plans. For the first time in the galaxy's history, former enemies stood side by side. They trained together, built defenses, and shared hope. But even as the alliance grew stronger, the darkness moved closer. One night, as Marcus looked out at the stars from the ship's observation deck, Lila joined him. Do you think we can stop it? She asked quietly. Marcus sighed. I don't know, but humans never give up. We fight for what matters. And now we fight not just for ourselves, but for the whole galaxy. Lila smiled softly. And we have a chance. The galaxy held its breath. Fear was still strong, but so was a new hope, born from the courage of humans and their allies. The alliance of alien races was growing stronger every day. Ships from many worlds gathered near Nova Prime, ready to face the coming darkness. But the threat was still unknown, and powerful Captain Marcus Halley stood on the bridge of the Valiant, surrounded by commanders from different species. Each brought their own knowledge and skills, but the key to facing the enemy lay with the artifact and the guardian it had awakened. Humans have something special, Marcus told the group. It's not just the artifact or the guardian. It's our way of thinking, our creativity and resilience. Commander Zlave, a tall reptilian from the Karis race, narrowed his eyes. Explain this human ingenuity. What makes it different from our own? Marcus smiled. Humans don't give up easily. When faced with problems, we find new ways. We try again and again until we succeed. Layla Chun stepped forward. The artifact reacts to that spirit. It tests those who awaken it. The Guardian wants to see if we are worthy, if we can protect the galaxy. The alien commanders listened carefully. The meeting was tense but hopeful. Meanwhile, scientists aboard the Valiant worked day and night. Layla led a team studying the artifact's strange technology. It was clear that it was part of an ancient defense system, a network built long ago by a lost civilization. This artifact is a key, Layla explained. It connects to other Guardians across the galaxy. Together they can stop the darkness. Marcus decided to send teams to find and activate other Guardians. But first, they had to understand how to use the power of the artifact safely. One evening, Marcus joined Layla in the lab. She showed him a small device, a neural interface designed to connect a human mind to the artifact. This will allow a human to communicate directly with the Guardian, Layla said. But it's risky. The Guardian tests your mind. If you are not strong, it could overwhelm you, Marcus nodded. I'm ready. If this is the only way to help the galaxy, I will try. The next day, Marcus connected to the device. At first, everything was dark. Then images flooded his mind, stars, planets, and strange symbols. He felt the Guardian's power flowing through him. Suddenly, the Guardian tested him. He faced visions of fear and doubt, battles and loss, but Marcus held on. He thought of his crew, the colony, and the hope of all humans and aliens. When the connection ended, Marcus gasped. It was hard, but I understand more now. The Guardian trusts us. The Valiant sent out signals to search for other artifact sites. Small teams explored distant worlds, activating ancient Guardians. Hidden for centuries, each time humans showed courage and creativity, solving puzzles and overcoming dangers. The Guardians responded by joining their powers to the first artifact. Back on the Valiant, Marcus and his crew shared their progress with the Alliance. Slowly, fear turned to respect. The galaxy saw humans not as weak or reckless, but as leaders. In this fight, but the darkness still moved closer. Reports came of star systems being swallowed by shadow, planets lost without a trace. One day, sensors detected a massive energy wave heading straight for Nova Prime. The coalition prepared for battle. Marcus stood before the gathered fleet. This is the moment we have trained for. Together we will stand against the darkness. We fight not just for survival, but for the future of all. The battle began with a roar of engines and weapons fire. The darkness was a force unlike any other, a swirling mass of energy that drained light and life. The Guardians activated their powers, creating shields and weapons of pure energy. Humans and aliens fought side by side, their ships moving with skill and determination. During the fight, Marcus's Valiant moved close to the darkness. Using the Guardian's power, he directed a powerful beam of light into the enemy. The darkness recoiled but did not retreat. It was hungry, endless. Marcus realized they needed more than force. They needed to outthink the enemy. He ordered the scientists to analyze the darkness's patterns. Using human creativity, they discovered that the darkness had a weakness. It could not survive in pure harmony. Marcus gathered the commanders. We must create a united energy, a harmony of all our powers combined. Only then can we stop this force. The Alliance worked quickly, combining technologies, energies, and strategies. The Guardians amplified the human will, creating a beacon of hope and light. The beam struck the darkness again, this time breaking it apart. The enemy shrieked and shattered, retreating into the void. Cheers filled the ships. The galaxy had survived. Marcus smiled, exhausted but proud. This victory shows the power of human ingenuity, our courage to face the unknown and find new ways to win. The Alliance knew the war was not over, but now they stood together, stronger and wiser. The battle had been hard, but the darkness had been pushed back. For now. Captain Marcus Halle knew the fight was far from over. The galaxy was still at risk, and more challenges awaited. The Alliance ships gathered near Nova Prime, repairing damage and preparing for what might come next. The mood was a mix of relief and tension. Every race knew that survival depended on working together. A new unity born from crisis. Marcus stood on the bridge of the Valiant, watching the stars beyond. Next to him, Ambassador Vrek from the Zelari Dominion spoke quietly. "This war has changed everything," Vrek said. "I once doubted humans. Now I see they are the key to our future," Marcus nodded. "We had to prove ourselves. It was not easy, but when faced with darkness, humans find strength in unity." The alien commanders agreed. Old rivalries were put aside. Plans were made to share technology, resources, and knowledge like never before. One of the hardest parts was learning to trust. Many species had long histories of conflict, and suspicion ran deep. But the threat forced cooperation. Dr. Lila Chun worked with alien scientists in a large research center on Nova Prime. Together, they studied the ancient Guardians and the darkness that attacked. "The Guardians are connected," Lila explained during a meeting. "They form a network protecting the galaxy. When united, their power grows." A Karis engineer added, "We have never seen such cooperation. Humans inspire us to believe in hope again." Meanwhile, Marcus focused on training the Alliance forces. Humans shared tactics based on quick thinking and flexibility. Alien commanders taught the Valiant's crew about their own unique skills. The Alliance held joint exercises, practicing space battles and defenses. Slowly, they became a single force, stronger and smarter, but as they worked, reports came from the edge of the galaxy. New attacks showed that the darkness was still advancing, seeking weak points. One day, a distress signal reached Nova Prime. A distant colony was under attack. Surrounded by shadows that drained energy and light, Marcus immediately sent a fleet to help. The Alliance ships moved fast, but the darkness was powerful and relentless. When they arrived, the scene was grim. The colony was nearly lost. Ships were damaged and people were trapped. The Alliance fought hard. Human and alien pilots used every skill they had learned together. The Guardians' power shielded the fleet, protecting them from the darkness's reach. In the middle of the battle, Marcus took a risk. Using the neural interface, he connected again to the Guardians' power. This time, he could share his thoughts and plans faster than ever. He directed the fleet with precision, guiding them around traps and focusing their attacks on the darkness's weak points. Slowly, the tide turned. The colony was saved, and the darkness was pushed back once more. After the battle, Marcus met with the Allied commanders. "We win when we work as one," he said. "Our unity is our greatest weapon," Ambassador Vrek smiled. "Humans have taught us much. Not just about strength, but about hope and trust." Layla joined the conversation. "The Guardians have accepted us. They have chosen humanity to lead this alliance." Marcus looked around the room. Faces from many worlds reflected respect and determination. He knew the fight would continue. But so would their unity. The galaxy was changing. Old enemies were becoming friends. Together they would face the darkness. And whatever came after. As Marcus prepared for the next mission, he felt hope. Humanity's place in the stars was no longer uncertain. They were leaders, protectors, and a symbol of unity. The galaxy was alive with tension and hope. The great darkness had been pushed back, but it had not vanished. Captain Marcus Halle and the Alliance knew the final battle was still ahead. Nova Prime had become the heart of the coalition, a place where many races worked and planned together. The ancient Guardians were now fully connected, their power shared across star systems. Their light was a symbol of hope and strength. Marcus stood on the Valiant's bridge, looking out at the stars. The weight of command rested on his shoulders. But he felt ready. "Captain," came a voice from the communications console. It was Ambassador Vrek, speaking from the council hall. "The final wave of the darkness approaches. All fleets are gathering." "We prepare for the last stand," Marcus nodded. "We will fight with everything we have." The Alliance fleet formed. A massive line near Nova Prime system. Ships from countless worlds stood side by side, human vessels mixed with alien cruisers, all ready to defend life itself. The darkness appeared first as a shadow in the distance. Then it grew, a swirling, massive energy that blotted out stars. Its hunger was clear, consuming everything in its path. The Guardians activated fully. Beams of light and energy stretched from each Guardian, forming a barrier to hold back the darkness. Marcus led the fleet forward, his ship at the front. The Valiant was powered by both human technology and Guardian energy. Stronger than ever, the battle began with a roar of engines and weapons fire. The darkness lashed out, trying to break through the barrier. It struck with fury, but the Alliance held firm. Human and alien pilots worked as one, their skills blending perfectly. The Guardians focused their light on weak spots in the darkness. Guided by Marcus's commands. In the heart of the battle, Marcus connected to the Guardian's neural interface again. His mind linked with the energy being, the Guardian that had awakened on Nova Prime. They moved as one. Marcus felt the Guardian's power flow through him. He sent waves of light and hope into the darkness, trying to break its endless hunger. The darkness fought back, sending tendrils of shadow toward the fleet. But the Alliance's unity was stronger. Suddenly, Marcus saw a chance. A small opening appeared in the darkness's defense. He ordered the fleet to focus their fire there. Beams of light, energy blasts, and missiles flew toward the gap. The darkness shrieked and began to break apart. As the darkness shattered, stars returned to the sky. Planets that had been lost showed signs of life again. Cheers erupted across the Alliance fleet. Victory was near. After the battle, Marcus and the Alliance leaders gathered on Nova Prime. The ancient Guardians pulsed softly. Their mission complete, for now. Ambassador Vrek spoke. The galaxy owes a debt to humanity. You showed courage, strength, and wisdom beyond what we expected, Marcus smiled humbly. We fought because we had to, for our home, for all of us. Dr. Layla Shin added, the Guardians will remain. They will watch and protect the galaxy, but we must keep our unity alive. Marcus looked at the stars once more. This is a new dawn. Humanity has found its place among the stars. Not just as survivors, but as leaders and friends. The galaxy was forever changed. From a small distress signal came a great awakening. A power that brought together old enemies and made them allies, and in the heart of it all stood humanity, ready to face whatever the future held.